Ladies and gentlemen and art school students around the world, this is the education that you've been waiting for. There will be no anti-merit ideologies, no denigration of skill, no self-indulgent victim narratives, no andro-heterophobic brainwashing, and absolutely no quarter given to critical theory nihilism. The Bare Knuckle Art School is in session, and the man in charge of education is Professor Hard Knocks, Shanthan Jetty!
What's up, everybody, from the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty? My name is Shanthan Jetty. You're watching Shanthan Jetty Art, and welcome to Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. Chris Bouchard in the chat. I was just about to type an answer to you right as the show was going to start, and I went, what am I doing? I can just talk straight to Chris. But I want to say hi to everybody first, but remind me to come back to that. Well, actually, you know what? I can do it right now. So the status of Springball is I'm working on it. I'm drawing on it, and the big thing I'm doing this past week, the big thing I've been doing is going back and forth with the digital proof for Nosfero the Cryptwalker. And the big news for me, at least, with regards to Springball, are on the creative end of things, is I believe I have found my printer. It's going to be printed in the U.S.A. by the same folks who are printing Nosfero. They've been great to work with. They've been really responsive when I have issues with color saturation, so that's great. I'm very excited about that. And then the other aspect of it is I have reworked the ending of Springball. It was an ending I was thinking about before, but it just ratchets up the cliffhanger and it expands out the universe. And I mean, I was about to start doing layouts for it on stream, and then I realized that's not something I think we're supposed to do, is show you the ending of our projects while we're on stream. But it's going along great, man, and it's really going to be fantastic. It's going to be, I'm loving this book. I'm loving this story. I'm loving how Nosfero's looking. Chris, it's going to be great. It's something I've been talking about that is possible in the world of Springball. I don't want to give anything away. You know what? I'm going to give a little bit away, I guess. Well, no, not really. It's not that big of a deal. But I was talking about the scope of Springball a lot and what makes it different than what separates it, or at least clarifies what the book is. And I always think that when you've got your first issue, when you come out with a book, it doesn't have to be just the origin story, and it doesn't have to, and I actually don't, I leave the origin of Springball a little bit of a mystery. Listen, I don't put me there, because Shane is not that different from me, man. I would absolutely love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, cover B is getting sick, by the way. So I was working on both of the covers because I had to put something up for the campaign, but the detail and the painting, or the painterly approach I'm using is gonna be sick, man. But the last page of Springball is gonna be like, holy cow, as they say. And it's going to be great. So let me say hey to everybody in the chat. We've got my man, Mark's Music Obsession, who feels like family. You know what I mean? It's like Olive Garden now. You know, when you're here, you're family. And you can eat as many carbs as you want. Never forget. Let's see. We've got Stephen Rockwood, the Alpha, the Omega, my artist brother, the first Crypt Walker, the first man over the wall when it came to the fight for the stuff we do here at Sean Fagetti Art. Just like John is the first man over the wall when it comes to Comicsgate. So, a beautiful thing, man. And it's great to see you here, man. What's up, Christopher Bouchard? It's great to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well, and I'm glad that helped answer your question. Bruce Campbell's Chin, who was here when that was one of those things where I feel like this is a sign. That was the first time I put together that Springball was going to be, the best way I could pitch it was Evil Dead 2 meets Spider-Man. And I went, wow, that, and then you came into stream, and I saw Bruce Campbell's chin, and I thought, my God, and God bless Bruce Campbell, by the way. In addition to that, let's see, we've got Drummer on Fire. It's great to see you, Drummer on Fire. And did I miss anybody else? I knew the infamous Mr. Cursed was here, and if you know from the thumbnail and you look on the screen, you can see a beautiful, beautiful work of art from Cursed Art Creations right there. This lovely crocheted Thulu that I was sent. Thank you so much for that. It is amazing. And so I thought I would have him sitting on the back of the sofa there in my studio so that you guys could see him and see how great he's doing. Yeah, I'm glad to hear there's beautiful weather. We've been up and we've been down. It's been great for the arthritis, Mark. It's been a hoot and a holla, Mark. Let's see, who else have we got here? We got my man, Mark. You know what I'm talking about? Perfect timing. I love it, man. Lord Instant Comic Skater is here with the Mac. I love it, man. RJ Williams is here. RJ Williams, 88. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, RJ. And I hope you're having a good one. Simply Green is here. Chuck Finley. There you go. Let me see here. Where are we? There we go. There's the woman of the hour. Hi, guys. Wanted to say hi and glad you like it. Absolutely love it. And what a great job. What a great job. And you are seconded. I mean, it is a... Let me grab it here. Oh, my stars. I don't know if this is ever going to truly do it justice, but look at just the incredible amount of detail that is put into this. Beautiful. Beautiful work and craft, particularly into the spirals on these like tentacles on the face of Thulu, then the beautiful red eyes, and you can tell how much thought went into this because you get these eyes that then have all of those beautiful little beads that really speaks to the cosmic horror, right? This is the cosmic horror of Lovecraft that you see in these eyes, and it was a very astute decision to make in the aesthetics of this, as well as the asymmetry right there that you've got that just adds that little extra bit of the unusual, of the strange. And so I can't tell you how much as an artist I appreciate the craftsmanship in this figure. It's just great. What's up, Duck Bacon? Long time no see. Great to see you, man. Creepy and huggable, amazing. Yes, Corey Landis. It's beautiful, beautiful work. I've said it for a long time, and I think we say it all the time. We've got the best fans in Comicsgate. We've got some of the most creative people, and it's been very exciting to see people sharing their wares, sharing all the different things that they do, and anything we can do to get the word out, anything we can do to get more people excited about backing these books. That is what we got to do. You can see there over on the screen, as always on my stream, especially if you haven't been here in a while. Those are the trailers for my books. Nosfero is not available to back anymore right now. It's actually at the printer. I'm going over digital proofs right now. I've done every time I do a revision on a digital proof, it's 75, bucks because they have to go back and fix it. But I'm going to do that as many times as it takes to get the colors right, because I want to make sure that I always do the best job, attention to detail, particularly at the very end. It's just killer. It's just it's so, I love it. I love making books for you guys. And so yeah, there you go. There's the Springball trailer. So I'll have to show you guys some of that process too, because I've got a bunch of things to show you guys today. A lot of cool stuff. And we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a really fun time today. And I found a bunch of books that I was looking for that were inspired by some of the conversations we were having. So one of the things, I got a bunch of things I want to talk to you guys about today, but one of the things I wanted to talk about was something that I've been trying to create a fun thing to do to promote what we do on Bare Knuckle Art School. What is up, bootlegger entertainment? I love to see it. Man, I'm a big fan of Prohibition era themed movies. So I'm a huge fan of Jimmy Cagney and The Public Enemy. I love all of those kinds of movies, even the Roaring Twenties and all of that kind of stuff. So I love that. And I actually, our studio space that we have, we called Speakeasy Studios. And that was a fun part of me and my brother Nick's studio. So let me see here if I can make this happen. We'll see. Chance would be a fine thing, wouldn't it? Let's see here. Where are we? Speaking of Photoshop and art, let's see. Okay, so I'm still working on this. It's sort of a promotional image is the best thing I can think about it. Like for my plan is, if everything works out, knock on wood, and God willing, and the creek don't rise, and we go to for the Fans Fest, which is the plan right now. I want to have this available for as something people can get that would be fun. Just one of the things I'm thinking about if I have a table. But I'm still working on the language, but it also it kind of focused. You know what? I'm just gonna try to make sure I show it before I go on too long. Let me make sure this is set for Photoshop, because I want to make sure it's not like, okay, good. It's set for Photoshop. Great. So here you go, guys. So this is the part in particular I want to draw attention to. You've got your characters. This is obviously inspired by the famous Draw Me Turtle thing that they did, and back in the day for the famous artist course. But this was the part that I was really, really excited about in a nerdy kind of teacherly way, because I think this is important. So for the Fans Fest, as it is coming together, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about that on all the Comicsgate streams lately, but the plan is for it to be in New Jersey. The plan is for it to be at New Jersey. It's going to be, I forget what hotel it's going to be, but they're going to do the announcement. If they haven't already, they're going to do the announcement at a certain point, like, this is it, these are the dates, we're locked. I think it's October is what we're looking at, if I'm not mistaken. There's got to be info of it online. And it's just going to be a convention for all of the folks that you know from Comicsgate, and a chance for you to meet us in person, and hopefully not be horribly disappointed, when you see us and think, man, I knew you were out of shape, Shanth, but not that bad. And hopefully, the fun thing is we can get some stuff in front of you. Yes, it's in New Jersey. Might see you there. Very cool, Bruce Campbell's Chin. Yeah, it's definitely in New Jersey. So I started putting together this. I had like all these different blurbs about this, and I was trying to think about, because it's for fun, what I wanted to say. And the thing about this that I like as far as the Bare Knuckle Art School thing goes. Oh, let me see here. Let's see. What I like most about For the Fans Fest is they weren't afraid to go as generic as possible with the name. That's right, Mo Biggs. We keep it 100. We keep it 100 here. So here's the thing that is sort of my teaching philosophy and sort of what I want to do when I'm talking about all of this stuff, right? And there's actually, it was something I learned over a long time teaching, and it's this. These beliefs, these hard knocks core principles is my attitude to teaching. Everyone with an aptitude for drawing and painting, can become competent in those skills with deliberate practice. That asterisk is really important. And a highly competent teacher. Outside of a baseline aptitude, the primary variable in becoming competent is purposeful practice. Another asterisk on that. God-given talent is responsible for exceptional art. is possessed by few and cannot be taught. Can't overstate that. But that's not the majority of people who make art. Funny enough. And those people, it's not even worth worrying about. It's such a strange thing to me, but I know people get overly focused on that and not focused on the fact that you're trying to hone your skills at a craft. A student's job is to gain competency. Gaining competency is the purpose of education. That's it. So, effective art teaching is a skill that requires both a natural aptitude and acquired competency in teaching. Exceptional art teachers have a God-given talent that cannot be taught. See the refrain here? These art teachers are supremely competent in the making of art, but are distinguished by their exceptional ability to promote competency in a dedicated student. And I wanted to make that point. I wanted to make that point because it was important to me. Mo Biggs in the house. What's up, Shadowhawk Talks? How are you doing, man? Great to see you. It was important for me to make that point because I think sometimes people mistakenly think that your rock star, or not even rock star, that your natural talent is going to be good at teaching. And I actually got enough time to see really amazing artists come and teach at the college level or teach in visual arts schools. So that's very narrow in terms of where they are. It's a funny thing to watch them go, this is really hard, because sometimes when you have a natural talent for something, you're not particularly, you don't know how to explain how you do it. It's that simple. Like, I remember I saw this great, comic book greats video with Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane, and Todd McFarlane drew a layout page. And Stan Lee goes through the page and says, "This is what you're doing in this page." And Todd looks at the page and goes, I don't know, it seems to work. And it just cracked me up because when I was teaching, somebody goes, "How do you do that thing where you're like telling people things and you figure out exactly what is the thing they need to hear to make that move to the next, to the next level with their work?" And I could tell you a bunch of different things, but some things I can't. Some of it is just you look at somebody and you figure out what they're doing. But there are things that you can do. There are a lot of things that you can do. So I'm going to try and see if I can do this, because this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be covering. A lot of you guys might know this, but it's important for our purposes today on this fine Sunday. Welcome to Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. Don't worry, we'll be looking at books too. We'll definitely be looking at books. There's no getting around that. There we go. Hopefully that worked. And get rid of that. Lots of stuff here. Lots of stuff. Oh my lord, I can't find where I was. I can't find... There we go. So I've got this, and I'm going to switch what this is on to... Let's see if this works. Preview. There we go. I'm going to assume that at least some of you guys are familiar with this. Let's see if this works. Wally Wood's 22 panels that always work. How many of you guys have seen this before? Yeah, exactly. Oh, very cool. Gosh, my glasses. I'm a field trainer and often teach paramedics fresh out of school. There it is. I find that some of the best doers are, my gosh, that is so funny, are bad teachers. It's 100% true. And I've always said to people, and this will crack you up, RJ, you'll know exactly what I mean by this. People go, I met this really great artist, and it's like he didn't have any feedback for me, and he didn't know how to help me. And I go, he's a brilliant genius of an artist. How much more do you want from this man? You know what I mean? It's like, if we're lucky, we get some kind of gift in one or two areas, and we're good at other things. Howard Pyle was the father of American illustration, was also an incredible teacher. But it's very rare. Brian Stelfreeze is a supremely competent artist, and when I say that, he has this quote I love. He says, "Oftentimes, I think that knowledge masquerades as talent." And it's very, very true, right? And it's right. It's absolutely right. Those who can't teach do exactly what people would say all the time. And believe me, that was something I was very much Pizza Flicks earlier and got excited. It wasn't Pizza Live. Yeah, I think a lot of people are coming up, coming to that idea. It's a good thing to get together and do this type of stuff. So when we look at this, and you see Wally Wood's 22 panels that always work, which was not put together by Wally Wood. It was put together by somebody who appreciated Wally Wood's techniques. You get a really good shorthand that then you can go over with people for how composition and how you can think about composition and what's the difference between composition and drawing, which is the placement. And so that's the kind of stuff that I think is the meat and potatoes stuff that people need to study, which is how do you make something that is clear. Graham Nolan talks about this all the time, and congratulations to Graham on Shanu and Shanu issue 2, or Shanu 77, I should say, and its success. But how do you have silhouetted characters in an environment so that you can read them even when you have 3 different layers of planes? This is how you do it, right here. And so that's what it comes down to, is how do you put these things together? And that's what makes this a really, really useful exercise as far as when you are doing this kind of work, when you're trying to figure out how to do and solve problems. And so that's what I always think is critical, is that some of the folks that I would say, there are people that you, artists that you might know who are highly successful, or at least you may know their works. They've worked in video games, they've worked in concept art, they've worked in, any number of fields. And the thing I will always say about that is that you might not know this, but if they went to college with me, right? If they went to college with me, when I was coming back to college with all of the knowledge that Brian Stelfreeze was giving me, and, the people at Gaijin Studios, Jason Pearson's layouts, in particular, Carl Stories gave me some great advice about inking, and I got to watch him work, which was incredible. And how to think about layouts, all that stuff was great. I mean, these guys were so generous with their time. Adam Hughes as well. I can't leave Adam out. He was really great, too, with showing me his layout pages and being patient. All of them were overwhelmingly patient with me because I was a young college kid who was just chomping at the bit to be there and all that. But the thing that I would say is that I would bring those things back to college, and the people who were friends of mine, and even my students who I brought that into my academic work when I was teaching, Gaijin Studios and the things I learned from Brian Stelfreeze went out to so many people who went on to shape things, create characters for BioShock Infinite. The character designer of whatever the main female lead is one of my former students, and the class she had with me was character design. And she's an outstanding character designer and was working professionally even before she got to school. But you can just sort of see that you meet certain people. Of course, you guys know Cameron Davis, who wrote the intro to my second art book, if I'm not mistaken. And Cameron was the lead concept artist on Guitar Hero 2 and a lot of the Guitar Hero stuff after that. He also has worked for Sideshow Collectibles as a freelancer, and he has a whole line of DC sort of femme fatale statues based on his artwork. So lots of cool stuff, lots of great people around. And so, when I do that kind of work and I work with people, the idea is to get people proficient at the things they do, to get people competent at the things they do. And most artists that you see out in the world are highly competent artists and illustrators. They're not people who, it's not all rock stars out there, which is crazy. By the way, there aren't a lot of highly competent people in any field, which is why it's so incredibly valuable, and why people seem to be in this culture to where it's like it either comes to you naturally or you don't do it. Mikey's Madness said, "You are so good, Cursed. I'm sorry for unloading on you, by the way. I felt guilty and responsible for Fago. What on earth is happening? What on earth? Chat insanity. I have no idea. Do I need to know? Should I probably not know? Is it something that's going to terrify me? So that's been a big part of the stuff that I'm doing and the work that I'm doing. And it goes into everything. When I'm cutting the trailers, when I'm doing all of that kind of stuff. So let me see here. What have I got? So I've got some cool stuff to talk about, and some really cool stuff that I'm working on that's going to be great And Springball, if you've not backed Springball yet, the link is at the top of this description. Make sure you back it. Make sure you grab those covers, because when I'm working on Springball, where it's going and where I'm trying to push things. Let me open this up now that I just closed it, because that's how I work. Opening and closing. And hopefully I'll get the... Guys, I'm so sorry for last Sunday. If you're a channel member on this channel, you get your name in the credits. And for some reason, when I updated the software, it made the credits into the cheerleader thing, and then it just ended the stream because it was so quick before I could stop it. So I had to put a separate video up of the credits. So hopefully that won't be a problem today. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So let's take a look at this. Let me see here. Where is it? I have it labeled, this screen share, this one, in the hopes that I'll find it. There you go. So guys, this is a look at cover B of Springball. There's 3 covers. There's cover A, which is the cover of the frog monster with the reflection of Springball in his eye, so I could draw more Springball and just use that as the border. But then there's also cover B, which is the reverse view, which is Springball looking at the frog monster. And this right here, if you look at the one that I put up for as the placeholder for it, you can see it's very, very, very... it's lacking in detail, to put it mildly. This is still not finished, but this gives you an idea of what I am wanting to do with this book. Crossing things that are both painterly and then also line work, particularly some of the fun stuff I'm doing with line on the teeth. Things like that, just to get in super close on the detail. This is the stuff I'm excited about. Yeah, I think you were the first to grab cover B, Mark. I don't even doubt it. But yeah, you're going to be glad you did. This is the stuff that is so fun to do. It really brings the artwork to life. It means I get to get really into my creature design and creature creation stuff, doing reflected lights, cools and warms in the gums of the mouth of this monster, but then also going in with, that super detailed approach to things. That is one of the things I love about comics. And if you look at this up close, it's fun that these are in here. You can see the more sketchy approach I take when I'm breaking some of this stuff down, just to keep it in the comic book landscape, because if you make everything too polished, it doesn't have that fun, full of life sort of quality to it. But this is many, many layers of work to put this stuff together. Let me show you guys what my layers look like. So this one right here, I think, is layer 532, if I'm not mistaken, one of these layers. But this is what goes into Springball. This is the thinking that goes into it, and this is the attention to detail. Hail, what is up, Ghost Goo? How are you doing? Curse is a better mod than me too. There you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's gonna be so fun, guys. Thank you, Mark's Music Obsession. I really do appreciate it, man. So yeah, so that's one aspect of the stuff that I'm doing with Springball, and that's part of it. The other part of things, of course, is working on the stuff for U.S.A and getting that book printed, getting the color proofs, going over that stuff, which is what I've spent the weekend doing. I'm going to have some notes for them come Monday. But they do have a pretty good look at it. I just have to take a look at, ask them some questions about, do their printers tend to oversaturate or undersaturate things? And does the CMYK, I know this sounds boring, but it's all part of the process, Audrey, as they say or all part of the experience, honey, as they say in Christmas Vacation. A. Riley in it. It's great to see you, A. Riley. How you doing, man? And so I think that the color is so important. It's so important for people to see what goes on when we do the different things that we do. And this is a massive part of it for me, is getting all this stuff. I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. I hope you are doing well, my friend. And so, yeah, going in and doing things like this. Step one is getting all of these subtleties, these nuances, this look at the eye, this texture, this detail. The next thing is getting it to reproduce well. So it's never done at this point. It comes down to the reproduction of it and how is it going to reproduce. So that's kind of a little bit of a look into that. So let me just quit out of Photoshop real quick, and then let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't quit out of Ecamm, which would not surprise me if I were to do that accidentally. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of different things. So for those of you guys, and there's a John Malin cover right as I said that right on the TV screen. So for those of you guys, and hopefully none of you were motion sick for that little camera tip right there. For those of you guys who are interested in the process, I've been trying to work on some things for John on our show that we're doing, Hard Art. I've been working on different things for it. I'm trying to find little interstitial things I can do, little chapter breaks, and I've sent 2 rounds of them to John, and I don't like either. Like I liked the first one, but it just doesn't work, and I think John is 100% right on that. I'm getting a better vibe of what I think might work for it, and then there's the second round. I don't like. I just felt like they didn't have any. I don't know. They didn't have any oomph. Like they'd be okay placeholders, but that's all I can really say about it. And so when I did the initial design work for Hard Art, designing the logo, designing all of that stuff, I mean, that was really early on. So for those of you guys who don't know the show is on Wednesdays. It's Wednesdays at 11 o'clock till 2 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, so better for folks in California. And the idea for the show was to talk about comics, talk about art, promote books, that kind of thing, but also have, it be a very, tight, clear show. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I painted a hat in acrylic for the show with that logo, which was tons of fun to do. And so that was the idea for it. And so when we were putting the show together, John came up with an intro for it. He took, the 70s thing I did, the, coming attractions, red, grain stuff, and then he would cut videos into it and things like that. And I was trying to stay with that appeal, but I'm starting to think, after John talked to me about it, is that I really want to make sure that what we're doing... Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? It's great to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, and that goes for all of you folks. I hope you're all having a great Sunday. I wanted to do something that was... What we want to do is we want to get people excited about Comicsgate and the books that we're doing who weren't already here. And we want to get people excited about backing books, but also people excited about this art form that we all love so much. And then how that ties into movies and how we all love storytelling. And also I think John wants to do what it's like to get reviewed by editors' art reviews, which is something is totally different than the kind of thing that teachers do, which is to try to help you gain skills and improve your stuff. Editors go, can I do anything with this or not? Here's what I need from you, if that makes sense. And so I started thinking about, and I have been thinking about, like, what I want to do in terms of the chapter break. So one of the things I was exploring was, I came to the idea that I wanted to do something that was, just to kind of Greek these in here, I wanted to do something that was like, was a nice little angled thing there. But then there's the question of, if these are like 5 or 10-second stingers, what goes in the stingers? So you've got one that's going to be for comics, one that's going to be for movies, and one that's going to be for art reviews. So for portfolio, or was it brutal art reviews? Try not to break the point of this pen here. So those were the 3 things, and it's coming up with the imagery that's going to work for that. It's something John and I are both very, very picky about design stuff, and which is really fun when we get together and we talk about lettering. And if you're not a channel member on John's channel, by the way, we do a he invites me onto his channel, me and Shane and whoever else comes up to talk about comic books, a comic book we love, and review it, or one we haven't read yet, and review it at the end of every month, the last Tuesday of every month. And it is just a blast. We talk about letterers we like, artists we like, inkers we like, all of the stuff that inspires us. And John is just, John, and obviously Shane and myself are just, we love talking about the minutia of comics, of storytelling, and the things that we like, and what we like to do. And it tells you a little bit about what goes into the creation of our work, whether it's Black Riding Hood and Godlike, or Graveyard Shift from John, or it's Inglorious Rex, and of course the people that Shane hires and brings in for books like Anatomic, Welcome to the Arena, and 232 Beast Mode, which is a really cool book. You forgot with LOL. Someone is going to clip that. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. It'll happen. It'll happen. And you guys are killing. Like, I can't start laughing right away. I'm gonna start coughing. So I got a big, nice burst of energy, and then I'm like gonna start laughing, and I'm not gonna be able to breathe. So when I was working on this stuff and I'm laying it out, I'm always thinking about. I try not to think about things from the standpoint of. I try not to think about things from the standpoint of what are we doing and what have we done before, although I do get locked into that sometimes, even when I'm doing intros for my own channel and for my own show. So one of the things, like when I did the Comicsgate Kings initial intro, which we don't really use anymore, but it might work for Comicsgate Live, I'm not sure. But when I was doing that for Ethan, one of the things I did was, and you probably remember it, guys, there was like an old school radio mic that was there at the start of it. And then the back of the radio mic had a political cartoon by the great Thomas Nast. And I just thought it was a fun thing because it was, the history of cartooning and comics, but it also kind of just related to chaos and the swirling, insanity that was around Comicsgate at the time, when I did that. What is up, Grey Wolf? How are you doing? Where are you? There you are. There's Grey Wolf. Hiya, chat. Good to see you. And so I've been looking at channels that I think, in a variety of different spaces, that I think do a really good job with their design, that are really professional and sharp looking. And I think I love what the initial design idea for hard art, but for the intro, that's going to be the real trick. That's going to be the real trick to figure out if I, for the intro, but also for these interstitials. And I think the intro is fine. The intro holds just fine for now. But if I come up with something good and John wants me to change it, I want to be prepared for that. So that's going to be a big part of the process that I'm doing. I'm going to just keep trying to plug away and look at it and think about it and make sure I get it where it needs to go, because I want it to be a fun show. When you guys come into the show, it's about any show, including this show. It's about creating an experience where you feel as though there's a way things work. There's a way. You can kind of count on it, which is why I've been trying to make sure I'm as regular as clockwork with this Sunday show. This is episode 13, by the way. We've hit episode 13 of Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. And with that having been said, by the by, let us... I have my Frazetta book out, but let me talk about a couple of things. So I've talked a lot about Tim Vigil on stream. Again, apologies for any whiplash anybody gets. I've talked a lot about how Tim Vigil was an early influence, and I believe it was Leighton Gay who said, hey, posted a bunch of Tim Vigil early artwork on X that he was seeing. And he's like showing these books, and I thought, man, this is a book that I had wanted to have ever since I was a kid, and I could never find it, and I bought it a couple of years ago on eBay. And what was so cool is this was during the black and white boom in comics, and so I was collecting this comic book called Grips, and this one was called Nightmaster, and it was about a ninja. It was basically American Ninja, and Tim was doing stuff before a lot of people were doing. Actually, let me take it out of the bag. It'll make it less reflective. Tim was doing a lot of stuff before everyone was doing it. Ninja Turtles artists Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were definitely doing stuff with this. But using Zipatone, he was consciously looking at manga and trying to figure out, how can I do things that are going to be cool, crazy, and wild? What an awesome looking character, by the way. I mean, Tim was just going nuts. Now, yeah, Grips was absolutely fire. Now, this book's interiors were not as strong as Grips, because I think he was doing like 50 jobs at the same time. But still, look at the lettering is being done, I think, in God knows what. What was it? What was the word software or the computer software we used in the 80s? Can anybody remember? I don't even know if I remember it. was it like Works or something like that? I don't know. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. But there was a software for this. So the lettering, this is where the tech was. This was all hand laid out and then photographed and probably made into plates for black and white. This is when it was incredibly hard. And I know because I was making comics shortly thereafter to do this kind of stuff. But look at this for an indie comic book. Right out of the gates and trying to get attention into it. And of course, not a lot of detail on this stuff, but there's Nightmaster doing what you couldn't do with the comics code. Nice little hand-lettered chop there and hand-lettered Nightmaster. They were big on, oh man, some of this art, you could tell Tim was rushing on it, but the panel layouts are so fun. I love this guy standing here with Nightmaster after he's wiped out all these people, and then this really cool, tall, vertical panel. Just some really cool stuff on the nice newsprint. Pete Cimetti would be proud. And then look at the detail on the bottom of the shoe, too. Nicely done. I don't think those eyes are in the same zip code, but I'm sure Tim was drawing as fast as he could when he was working on this. If you know Tim's Vigil's work, it's nuts now. But you get these beautiful little things like these eyes right here. These beautiful little elements that he would do that were so cool and so interesting, and just was doing some fun cartooning with this stuff. Really love it. I just love the sense of play. And what I loved about it, and what my friends and I loved about these comic books, is you really had the sense that it was the person and the people who were working on the comics, and then it was going direct to you. And even though these weren't perfect, obviously, like they had their issues, no pun intended, but probably because, dad jokes just seem to flow like wine sometimes. But they weren't where we got to be now in CG and in Comicsgate, for those of you guys who think that just means computer generated. And you can actually see, funny enough, the original for the oxidized edition over there. So you can actually see the original. This is the first printing of the book, which I know some of you guys have ordered. And then, of course, this is what I am shooting to get the new printings of it as close as possible to. This is my reader copy, so God knows what it's got on it. Looks like it's got kneaded eraser on it. Unfortunately. There you go. But this is the thing. Oh my God, is someone streaming on a Sunday when people have free time? No way. Is that right? It's, well, probably because it's also when I have some free time too. But I'm sort of, I don't know. I just like hanging out with you guys on Sunday before the work week starts. You know what I mean? And just talking about stuff that hopefully inspires you for the week. So if you look at what we were just looking at with Nightmaster, right? And then you look at Nosfero and what we're able to do. This was impossible. I have so much stuff. Yes, and welcome, Timotheus. Is it Timotheus? Am I pronouncing it wrong? Or I'm southernizing it? Or is it... No, that's got to be right. Timotheus? I hope I pronounced that right. Hardly any streams from CG on Sunday. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Although Ethan did a drawing stream, I think, the other Sunday, which was great. Oh, good. I'm just glad I'm getting the pronunciation right. I was telling the lady at the doctor's office when it was when they were taking blood for my physical, and she goes, "How do I pronounce your name? I don't want to get it wrong." And I said, "Lady, if it wasn't my name, I wouldn't know how to pronounce it right." So this is the kind of thing that we can do nowadays in terms of print quality. The fact that I'm able to do a fully painted, let's see if I can get that in focus. There we go. The fact that I'm able to do a fully painted comic book in this day and age is incredible. What's up, Based Art Department? How are you doing? And hail to you, my friend. I hope you are well. Yeah, diaphanous sighting requirements met. Yeah, we have to have diaphanous nightgowns. I've been around, had to change my name because someone else in CG... had name with... was Tim Smith. Oh, no kidding. By the way, that's a really great... What is that art? That's a really great pick there. Whose work is that? That's beautiful, man. And so the reproduction quality, to put it mildly, for books like Nosfero are off the charts in terms of what we can do, and that's why I'm excited to get the prints. The printer I used for this actually went out of business as a result of the lockdowns, and so I wanted to find a printer in the U.S. So Graham Nolan, and again, congratulations, Graham on Shanu, told me about his printer. Yes, that's what I thought. The Creepshow Comics. Not sure the artist. That must be Bernie Wrightson. Hang on, is it? I thought I recognized that. Let me see. Nope. Oh, wait. I swear this was not planned, by the way. If you've been here long enough, you know this just happens. Let me see. Is it... It's not this one, because the cover artist was different, but maybe it was... It might be Bernie... Maybe it's Bernie Wrightson stuff. I don't know. It could be Bernie Wrightson stuff. I'm just wondering if I can find it in here. But it could have been Bernie Wrightson. Let me see. Don't know if I can find it. I'm just like looking at the thing, but it might be. Shanth Plan? Pshaw, you're right. Yep, I bought a copy of that. Oh, when we went over it. So, excellent story regarding that. You probably already heard me tell this story. So, John wanted to do some stuff for Halloween. There is this absolutely amazing store in this little town out on Cape Cod, right? Which was filled with 50th anniversary Jaws stuff at the time. I love this store. They have NECA figures there. They have all kinds of cool art and haunted H.P. Lovecraft stuff. Anything you can... Oh, my wife got me this there. This is the blueprints of the orca from Jaws. They sell these inside of the store. So tons and tons of cool stuff. And when I was in there, because I do magazine-sized comics, so horror magazine comic size, which is like Creepshow and all of the great horror magazines. Springball is going to be oversized, so the double-page spread's going to be immersive. Nosfero is oversized. It's the same wherever the heck... Oh, it's under here. So you can see it's this... is it a little bit... It's a hair larger, but I mean, I'm sure that has something to do with something else. This is absolutely what I want to do with Springball. And so I found this in the store. And I went, this is awesome, and I bought it because it was all, like, you know, drawn by Bernie Wrightson, and it was this color work, and it had this great vibe to it, and of course, a George Romero film, can't go wrong there. And so that was why I had it, and I suggested John, like, we take a look at it, and John loves the movie. And it's just one of those cool things about being here, we're so excited about comics. You have to be excited about comics, and in order to, like, do the work it takes to get people excited about backing them, funding them, drawing them, and then being down to every detail of minutia up to shipping and packing them. So that's a big, big part of what we do. And everybody in Comicsgate is, that is a big part of our conversations in terms of, like, a big part of our life outside of stream. We talk about it with you guys on stream, obviously, because we like you guys to get let into, what we're doing here. But I can't say, and if you haven't hit the like yet, if you're in the chat, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you let YouTube know you want to see this stuff, because it's tough out there with them YouTubes. But it is craziness. That's right. Springball, there is the link from the man, Mr. Stephen Rockwood, and no sooner had he posted it, but the original Springball fan, a man who bought the book in its first incarnation in 2002, OG fan, who I cannot wait for him to see this book. My collection must be, your collection must be huge. I like that you're still a fan, a massive fan. I have so many books, so many comics, things on, it's crazy, like, when I look around and reach for stuff that I have around here. So I'll give you guys a look at the Apocalypse real quick here. This is the Apocalypse. I mean, it is just books and books and books and books. There's more books over here, bookshelves filled. Blu-ray collection and 4K collection. The Blu-ray is the far more numerous of the two. Those books, there's packing supplies for all the books that go out. And then, of course, as you guys know, behind me, if I can pan correctly, are posters and even more books over here. Count of Monte Cristo. Let me move this forward and tilt this so you guys can get a better view of things. My Wonderful Thulu by Cursed Art Creations. Let me pivot this so you guys can see it. So there is the poster for the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. I'm a huge fan. I gotta move this even further. I'm a huge fan of Ray Harryhausen, of course. So there's that. Then there's all these books, and then there's all these figures and collectibles, brushes, and then more books stacked next to me. So look at that stack of books. That's what Creepshow came out of. And I just think, here's the thing. Here's the great thing about it. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this show is because it was something that I believe very strongly in when I was teaching. You want to invite people into a place that feels creative, where they feel as though there's a lot of art, there's a lot of things. I think Guillermo del Toro had a really great quote on this. He said that the lifeblood of imagination is curiosity. And the goal of a creative environment is to ignite curiosity, is to spark curiosity. Because once you start getting curious about things, you want to learn about them. And once you learn about them and they become a part of your life, you want to keep them a part of your life. And so for me, that's what you guys do with comics, and that's what you guys do with backing our books in Comicsgate. I mean, I've got Ethan's figures over there for CYBERFROG. I've got Heather and CYBERFROG. I'm never going to buy one of those Vespas because I have an absolutely awful phobia of hornets and wasps. I got trapped in an old Volare station wagon when I was a kid that we were trying to sell, and it had been left out in the front yard for a long time. And hornets had built a nest inside of the car, or wasps, I should say, had built a nest inside of the car. So we took it for a test drive. Nothing happened. Then we pull in the driveway. We hit the brakes. And as soon as the car stopped, it was like it was raining upside down wasps. They were like slapping into the roof of the car. And because of our driveway, my door was against... I had to get through the driver's side to get out. When I went to open my door, it hit a brick wall. And I couldn't get out. And I was like... So I completely understand Ethan's having the Vespas as his fill-ins, man. Those things creep me out, man. And I still have a scar, I think, on my wrist. I don't know if you can see it anymore, but I had a scar on my wrist for a while. Maybe you can see it right there. Do you see that little light area where the tip of my thumb is? That's one of the stings from that day. So it was just, I mean, it was a bang. That thing got me. What's up, Emo Trash? How are you doing? Yes, indeed. Yeah, miscellaneous monster figures are the thing. I love to show this stuff, guys, because I was always really, really good when I was teaching at making a classroom that students could come into and that felt like a studio space, because that's what I got when I was at Gaijin Studios, when I was learning from those guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure it does. I have a friend named, I don't doubt it, I have a friend named Michael, who has a channel, Michael King. He has a channel called The Choice Voice, and he told a story about hitting a hornet's nest that was up somewhere, and it fell and it broke on him. And I was like, no. Good heavens. But yeah, putting artwork around you, putting posters around you makes your life better. Putting books and comic books around you. I was showing this when I was on a stream with Graham and we were promoting Shanu, but I'm using the same printer that Graham is using. They do fantastic work. Let me see what the best angle is for the glare. There we go. They do fantastic work, and he had a slipcover set of his books. That was a hardcover slipcover with softcover books slid into it, and it's beautiful production. I want a good modern Creature from the Black Lagoon movie. That has always been my favorite OG movie monster. That movie is so great. I'm trying to think of all the people in it. Of course, we have Julie Adams. We have Rico Browning, who did the swimming scene, and then Chapman. I'm forgetting his first name. Who was the guy who was the creature when he was on land? Was it Ben Chapman? No, I don't think it was. I could be wrong on that one. I have a Creature from the Black Lagoon over there. And also, for those of you guys who are curious, I know Mark is. I've got this on the board that I'm still working on. Creature from the Black Lagoon head sketch for Mark. And Mark knows the creature well. And what am I saying? I'm like going, I know I have creature stuff somewhere. I have a creature on my desk. So yeah, so speaking of one of the things I've learned about posters, monster figures are why I'm working on getting soft vinyl toy production worked out in my shop. Listen, soft vinyl toys are the coolest thing in the world. They're so great. I have a James Groman original print of what is it called? A limited edition run of a design he did called My Mad Monster, which was based on his My Pet Monster design, but it was creepier and scarier. So he was revisiting some of his work. I have a vinyl Cyclops over there Centaur Cyclops over there from Ray Harryhausen. It's such great stuff. I'm a member of an online wood carving school. I remember that conversation where that took us. Wood carving school. I recently asked the instructor who runs the school if he was familiar with Jake Weidman. It turns out that Jake is a member of the carving school. How great is that? I love it. Isn't it awesome when that stuff happens? When you get those overlaps where you go, oh man, like this is this is opening up doors for me to learn about artists and art that I didn't know about. So I had this amazing opportunity not long ago. I mean, it was a while ago, but to me, it's not long ago. Around 2014 or 15. Actually, I have it right here, and I just found this book to share with you guys. Kirk Hammett of Metallica fame has one of the oh my gosh, yeah, you totally need a life-size creature to put at the edge of the bay. Oh, that would be awesome. They do have a Halloween life-sized creature that's not that expensive. That's like it's coming out of the ground. That could be awesome. Yep, bought Jake's book. It is amazing. Yeah, Jake is great. If you don't know Jake Weidman stuff, he's currently doing a dual portrait of J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Talk about awesome. I mean, that guy is great. And actually, my studio mate is a wood carver too, as well. But he's everything. He's a polymath. He's nuts. And actually, I used that term for the first time around a buddy of mine, and he and I didn't know that there was a character that was going to be named that in comics. He goes, "What does that mean? I've never heard that word." I go, "Well, it's typically a pretty, usually people use it, and it's kind of a pretentious thing, but it's somebody who's really amazing and brilliant at a bunch of different things." So this book right here, and let me see. Dad's cousin got me. We used to whittle a lot in Chattanooga when I was growing up. Got me involved with Hoosier Carvers Club in Columbus, Indiana. Very nice. When I was a teenager, I still do carving today. I tell you what, whittling wood and doing things like that is so good for you. It's so meditative. It's the same thing with doing ink work or hand lettering or things like that. I think that and also looking at books, so important to look at books and get inspired from books. That's why we try to make really great books. This is a great example of it. This is why I'm inviting you guys every Sunday into the studio, Comics and Curios inside the studio. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Make sure you like this stream so people know it's here. I watch a lot of really cool streams on the making of artwork that really inspire me. Things like Townsend's, which is 18th century focused on cooking and things like that. Four Keys bookbinding, where this master bookbinder, actually he just got a commission, if I'm not mistaken. He just got a commission from the author of Project Hail Mary. Like the author of Project Hail Mary, which is coming out as a movie, I think this coming week, commissioned him to bind his personal copies of his book, rebind them with hardback, leather bound, and so they all fit together with custom marbleized paper, custom art design, all done with hand cut and hand designed leather work. These things are insane. Those are the kinds of things I love to look at. And so when I look at this, now I'm going to move this back a little bit because the book is, oh, sorry, I hit the speaker there, guys. This is going to, did it again. This is going to be, this book is kind of large. See, I got to find a good angle for it. Maybe there, maybe that'll do. And I can move this a little bit if I have to. So this book, is a collection of all of the great movie posters. Let me lower this a little bit. There we go. All of the great movie posters in the history of horror. And these are Kirk Hammett's collection. He also has some original Frank Frazetta's. Oh, your profile pic is a carving you did. Excellent. Let me put that up here for a second. Hang on. Yeah, absolutely. And that's awesome, Grey Wolf, about the wood carving. There you go. Beautiful, man. So good. Yeah, I mean, keeping your hands busy in terms of like artwork and reading books and all of that kind of stuff. You know, they say idle hands is very, very true. But look at this. How great is that? Let me move this camera because I just realized I could. There's many things I can move to make it easier for you guys. So you don't have multiple light sources right in your face. This is a close-up of the poster that I have as a canvas print right back there. This is a close-up. It is so cool. So cool. I think Graham was even doing on his Joe Frankenstein cover he did for the latest Joe Frankenstein. There's Kirk with his collection. You can see he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's a 6 original Frank Frazetta paintings. So that'll do, right? That's not the worst thing that could happen to a person is to own a bunch of. I saw this one right here in person, and a couple he's not got shown here. And then I'm gonna have to stabilize this bookshelf. I just realized I need to tighten that bolt there. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to tighten that at some point. See if there's something. I wonder if there's something I can tighten there. So yeah, so here are some of the posters, and then let's take a look at Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. We're going all the way to the silent era with this book. Metropolis. Look at that. Just incredible stuff. Let me see if I can rotate that so you get a better look at it. Lon Chaney in, of course, The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Victor Hugo's amazing novel, translated in a way that only Universal Films could do back in the day. They gave us something incredible. And then, of course, this poster, which I also have a version of in my studio, this Frankenstein poster. Look at, let me see, and you can see that there's a big influence of these posters on Nosferatu the Cryptwalker. But look at that. Look at that incredible color. That incredible. Actually, you know what I just realized? Hang on a second. Dang it. Sometimes I'll notice this stuff and I go, let's do something about it. What is the gamma correct? Oh, that's right. I have the gamma on this a little off, and my saturation is down. So you guys aren't getting to see this as well as you should. Here you go. There's a better view. Is that better, guys? Yeah, Frankenstein. It's pronounced Frankenstein. I absolutely. That movie is genius. That movie is so good. You take the blonde, I'll take the one in the toy bin. You're not going to go wrong with it. But can you guys see the color better, hopefully, a little bit now? And those really rich blues and reds. I mean, they were swinging for the fences with this. Yeah, Igor Frederick. Yeah, it was. That's some awesome stuff. Dracula's Daughter. There's the poster for that. And it was. He has a collection that goes all the way up. The She Creature. Look at these. Barbarella. What do we got here, Mark? What do we got here? Richard Carlson, Julia Adams. Look at that. Just beautiful. Love posters like this. Incredible. My favorite part of the movie is where he tells them, yes, not to open the door no matter what happens. Yes, 100%. That movie, it's so funny because there was this, I think it was, not to be confused with Gene Wilder, Billy Wilder, I believe, had a quote that, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name because he's the screenwriter of Golden Voyage of Sinbad, The Avengers. I know his last name is Clemens. I'm trying to remember what his first name was. Was it Richard Clemens? I could be wrong. Yeah, this is a great book, Timotheus. It's 100% worth the purchase. And he said his philosophy, Billy Wilder said his philosophy of storytelling was, if I have a man coming through a door, I've got a scene. I've got a setting. If I have a man coming through a window, I've got a situation. And his goal as a storyteller was to present people with situations that inspired them to think, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? What does this mean? Right from the go. You go, present them with situations. And that's the stuff to me that is so inspiring. And that's the kind of wisdom, that we used to call that in the South whiskey wisdom in a weird sense. But those little shorthand notes that are so important. Look at how they were trying to get your attention in a very gray world. And so they were getting their colors to be really lurid, very over the top. And I think I like doing things that are colorful in this genre, a lot like Hammer Horror does. But then there were some, look at this. Isn't that crazy? You can actually see the different colors of the printing process on these original posters. Warning, the monster is loose. So many different posters. And again, he has the original prints of all of these. And for any of you guys who have studied lithography and doing high-level printing like this, there is these posters, I mean, I'm sure they've been kept reasonably safe, but the colors look like they were printed yesterday on these things. I mean, I saw them in person. There's actually a link to that video probably in the description here. It's the It's Alive poster show. But look at just the luminosity. And you guys know this is the inspiration for King Kong. This is the time period we're talking about. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that they like the bride painting, Mark. I had a blast doing that for you. Yeah, that's right. Stain? That's right. Instead of bolts, he should have stitched together yarmulke. He didn't, though. Well, actually, come to think of it, didn't he, though? If you think about it, on his head. It's so funny because for people who don't know, the amazing Jack Pierce, who came up with the most iconic makeup of all time, which was the Frankenstein makeup, was just an incredible craftsperson. He was a Greek immigrant to the U.S., and he, just like James Whale, who directed the movie, was actually a Brit, expat. Boris Karloff was a Brit expat whose family, I think, lived in India, and I think he was about I think he was a quarter or half Indian. I'm not sure, because they lived in India when it was a British colony. And this right here, guys. This right here, I want you to look at the marquees for King Kong and look at this sitting on the top of the marquee. So you get a sense of how big these are. Okay? These are huge. I don't even know how much this sold for at auction, but it was on display there. One of those was on display there. I think it is one of the rarest bits of horror, horror, I think this falls into that category, monster memorabilia on the planet. An original one of those. I don't even know how many of these are left. And this is what the colors look like today. It's incredible. Now, they have to have touched it up. Like, I can't believe where it was inside somewhere, because I cannot believe that there wasn't some restoration done to it, but boy, does it hold up. Isn't that beautiful? I know, I'm so sorry, yeah. I'll be doing a book on my Shanth and Jetty collection. You will absolutely be doing one. Yeah, movie theaters need to go back to that 100%. Here's another one of my favorite posters, period. Love this poster. Gosh, the talent of the designers and the screen printers and the people doing the lettering, so good. Movie theaters need to go back 100%. They need to go back to that. So let me see if I can find. I don't know if I have them where I can get at them, but I've always tried to do some of this stuff when I'm doing my own stuff in my books. I don't know where I have art book 1 and 2 at this point, because everything is quite topsy-turvy. Don't think I have them where I can get at them. I have this. I'm going to start an avalanche, I'm sure. I have this. Don't have it there. Don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. But I think one of these days, guys, one of these days. Let me see if I have something like that in here. I don't think so, because the horror book, the one that's the rarest book, art book that I have that's going out to some of you guys who got the last copies of it, that book has... Is this it right here? No, this isn't it, is it? Oh, that's going to be an avalanche. No, that's not it. Yeah, well, anyway. But I try to do this kind of hand lettering in it, and this is the stuff I love. Even when I'm doing pages in Springball, I'm hand drawing all of my logos. Nosfero logo started as... it was painted onto the original artwork. And so I painted it onto the original artwork, and then I went and did it in Illustrator, and then I brought it into Photoshop. But everything I do, I want it to be very hand done. I'm actually lettering Springball and doing... I took my handwriting, I made a font out of it so that it still feels like me, and then I'm doing all the special effects and everything in Springball, which I love doing. And that's what I did on the original book. It was hand lettered on the originals, which, by the way, was a dumb idea, because when I went to go change the story, I had to paint out and redraw. Now I'm redrawing a lot more than that, but all the areas behind the word balloons, and I was like, oh no. But it had to be done. It had to be done. And here you go, guys. Look at these posters. Look at the color. Look at the color on that, how bright and beautiful that stuff is. I miss... Mondo Posters actually did a really good job of bringing back really beautiful lithography and really beautiful posters. But look at this stuff, guys. For the Invisible Man. I love these vertical posters, too. They're just great. I'm a huge Hitchcock fan. This is, to me, Hitchcock's masterpiece, Vertigo. When my kids were really young, we spent, I think it was about 6 weeks out in San Francisco. We rented a place. I was showing my portfolio around, meeting people. It was around that time, I think, that Microsoft Games flew me up to do a lecture on my character design stuff that I was teaching at RISD. And what's up, Buzz? How you doing? It's good to see you, man. Buzz Acevedo in the chat. Good to see you. Let me see if I can click on that. There we go. We were going up this ridiculously steep hill with a twin stroller, which weighed about 1,000 pounds. And I was like, oh my God. I was so frustrated. And I may have been giving Mrs. Ingetti a little bit of grief. I'm not proud of that. And of course, because Mrs. Ingetti is just amazing and a magical creature, in my opinion. When we got to the top of the hill, we realized we were looking at a location in the film Hitchcock's Vertigo that I never would have known was there, and I never would have seen if she hadn't decided for us to take a walk around that park that was an incline of, I swear, it was like 45 degrees. It was nuts, that grade. So yeah, I don't want to veer off conversation track, but did you love Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein? Man, I was blown away. Loved it. Yeah, I thought the art direction was beautiful. I really enjoyed the movie. I have the art book right here. I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I know I was asking Graham about it because I know he enjoyed it too. My favorite horror movie, though, of the last, I don't know how long, is still going to be Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. And I'm a massive Nosferatu fan. I just hope they release an action figure or something that's affordable for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Doing yard art and trimming my burning bush while I listen. Excellent, man. How are they doing? Is it this right? This is the perfect time of year to be trimming them. Is that correct? I think it is, because we have some of those in our yard. You see here. And then again, look at this. These crazy sketches for the movie poster thing. And here you go. Breaking down the fear centers of the brain. All kinds of great stuff in this book and in this exhibition. The mystery of the Wax Museum. Better flip that because you don't know how YouTube's AI is going to see it. I walked with a zombie. Look at that. Look at that lettering, guys. So good. So good, man. Yeah, I saw the Nosferatu movie too. It was awesome. I didn't get to see Frankenstein in the theater. What he did with the story, his take on the story was I really... what did I say to somebody about his take on Frankenstein? It's as novel accurate as, which is to say, not very. It is. You can tell it's based on a novel, but as far as the layout of the story and Frankenstein's backstory and all of that stuff, it's not accurate to the novel in the same way that the original 1931 Frankenstein is not. But it earns its place as a individual work of art in very much the same way that Frankenstein, the James Whale Frankenstein in 1931, that Carl Laemmle Jr. and Sr. Produced. So yeah, just incredible stuff. And here you go. A lost film. I hope we do find it one day. I don't think it's going to be an epically amazing work, but I hate the idea of thinking we've lost some movies and we've lost artwork. Never to be seen again. So Lon Chaney in that famous makeup. The makeup is almost more famous than the movie, London After Midnight. And of course, this poster, by the way, if you've never seen a truly gigantic movie poster, this poster is... Well, let me see what it says here, because it's actually... I'm just realizing it's got it. So Return of Chandu is 79 inches tall and 82 inches wide. Somebody do that for me in feet. So 79 inches tall. So that is 6 feet by 82. Lord, so I just got to add... What do I got to add to that? My brain is misfiring. It's probably about 7 feet, but I'm not sure. A movie shouldn't be totally accurate. Yes, I agree. I think movies should be movies. The book is perfect. There's no need to do it. Yeah. I think it's about the right time. Amen, amen. Yeah, I think it's the right time of year for that for sure. So yeah, let me just check something really quick because this is driving me a little bit crazy. Just want to see where the wobble's taking place. Okay, hang on. Sorry if that was making a horribly annoying sound, but... Oh, that was blinding for a minute. This is, this is another look at how the sausage is made, as they say. Let me see if I can make this happen. Rotate that around. Hopefully I got the right sized one right out of the gates. Ah, there we go, I did. Just need a... Oh, wait, is that not the problem? Hang on a second, guys. I thought I had one here, but hang on a second. One sec, guys. I'm going to put this back up for a second. You guys know how my streams go. This usually happens at least once a stream. I gotta grab a screwdriver. I'll be right back. And not this kind of screwdriver you drink, although that would be nice. Let me see. Looking for a screwdriver, not a flathead. I thought I had one in there, but I don't think I do. Yeah. I'm going to try to see if I can do it with a flathead, but I thought I had one in here, actually, but you never know. Okay. Woo. Let me see. All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, Mahalo, what is up, Past Master Dan? How you doing, brother? Let me see here. I could not find. All I got is a flathead. Will this work? No, it probably won't work, but let's see if we can get it. It's not that one. It's that one. I was hoping that would fit. That's not. I thought I had a screwdriver in here, and I thought I had a multi-tool in here somewhere, but I don't seem to. Yeah, that'd be great if you could find me one, babe. Thank you. Oh, it can be a normal one. It's just wherever we had them. Oh, you know what? Are they in the pantry? I didn't know if they were in the pantry or not, but we'll see. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get that tightened up for you guys. Super chat from Baldo User. How are you doing, man? It's good to see you. Oh, shoot. I was about to hit it. Hey, Past Master Dan. Great to see you, brother. Let me see here. Hello, Shanth. Why do you think the jump scare horror dominates the media nowadays? The only one that does something different seems to be Junji Ito. Wow, that's a really good question. Why did you have to hit me with such a smart question right now? Let me think. 7 feet. Okay, you guys got it. There we go. Let me see. Why is the jump scare? Okay. Well, here's one of my theories on it. Well, one, I think the jump scare thing is always going to be popular because it's the same thing as a roller coaster. It won't necessarily guarantee staying power, but at least you'll get the price of admission. Oh, thank you, babe. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, hang on a second, guys. Let me get this sorted. There we go. God, that's loose, man. Sorry for the racket, guys. Let's see, everything's loose here. Must be that one. Okay, that one's tight. This one's moving. Not awful, but not great. It'll be a little bit better. Sorry about that, guys. And oh wait, shoot, I just saw that. So let me go back to your super chat because you got to get some cheerleaders before I answer that. Hang on a second here. Sorry, I got distracted. Here you go. Boom.
Charge! Charge!
Ah. Okay, so we don't want that video there. Why is all of my stuff so confused? So we'll get that sorted out. Yes, I do. I need a wrench mark on the other side, but it tightens pretty well without it. It's not locked into the space, but it does do pretty well. It was just really bad before. It was completely loose. So I'm going to need to spend some time on that, guys, to get it right. So yes, so why do I think that stuff, jump scares, are so much more popular than sort of long form storytelling? I think that there's a belief that we have to keep those things. Separate, and we don't. It's the same attitude I think we were talking about this with comics, which is you want to present somebody with a situation and you want somebody to be like, oh my gosh, hooked when they open up the book or when they open up the comic or when they in the first couple of minutes of the movie. I think that's incredibly important. And I think sometimes people try to do stuff that's highbrow and they don't pay enough attention to the need for the audience. Like, if you want to take somebody on an incredible ride, if you want to take somebody on an incredible trip through a story, you've got to affect them in a lot of different ways. God, I love this poster. No matter how many times I see it, it's always a revelation. It's such a beautiful poster. And I think that the problem is that people don't know they don't understand what horror really is. Horror, when you see horror and when you feel terror, you don't feel pity for the characters. Because pity is a distancing emotion. It's an emotion that separates from people. Like, I pity you is someone's away. It's actually an empathy to where when you look at the person going through the difficult situations, you feel as though it's so primal, it's as if it's happening to you. It's something that is just so raw. And I think a mixture of all of those things, it's like double page spreads and things like that. When you have double page spreads in a book, but then you also have some insane crazy panel grid like Frank Miller was doing in The Dark Knight Returns, you feel like you're getting a full meal. And I think we've gotten, there's this they're fun roller coaster movies. Again, I don't want to say I'm against jump scares in terms of being in movies, but if there's one series that's been really interesting to me to watch for its success, it's been the Conjuring series. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Conjuring series. The first Conjuring movie takes place in Rhode Island, in the that Conjuring house that had what was that the person they claimed in the movie at least was the bad guy. It's the one that's got the swing on the cover, or sorry, on the poster, not on the cover. I'm thinking comics. And the reason why those movies are so successful is because people, yes, they have jump scares in them, but people felt a very strong connection with those characters. It still needs to follow a premise. Absolutely. Progress, payoff for a hit to be a hit. Yes, comic book cookie. And the thing, I love when I read the names. It just cracks me up. Because for the first time, because it's like, it's like when Dave Chappelle was talking about, he goes, when he was joking about Inside the Actors Studio, he goes, and next we'd like to talk to you about Half-Baked. It was so great. But you're right. You're right. It's characters that you have an interest in, and people really, much to the surprise of Hollywood, people really liked the idea of the depiction of a romantic couple, however, fictionalized the elements of that movie are, and a couple of faith, which they would have told you was not something people want to see right now, even though it's always been a part of horror movies from the very beginning, and horror stories, whether it's Dracula, Frankenstein, it's always been a part of it. And I think that they miss opportunities because they think of the audience. They have contempt for the audience, I think. And then I also think that people who feel like they're above a jump scare also have contempt for the audience. So my sweet spot, both in terms of financially, for the cost of the film, versus its success and its contributions to culture, I would say that Psycho and Jaws are two perfect horror movies. Jaws is exceptional. You get to know all those characters, you love those characters, and it has some of the best jump scares you're ever going to see. Hey, Katie did, how are you doing? It's great to see you. It was so fun getting to see you on the stream the other night. I hope you're well. It was a blast closing out Black Riding Hood 2. And yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed to Katie Did's channel, and why wouldn't you be? Go subscribe to it, for heaven's sake. Lots of exciting stuff happening over there. But Jaws had almost everything in it that you would think of is oh, that's great, Katie. Katie knows. Katie understands Dolly. She understands Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, in the heart of the Smoky Mountains, which is I grew up at the foot of the Smoky Mountains, south of Mont Eagle, and making total Southern references that I know Katie knows. She probably knows all this stuff, but yeah, Jaws was not afraid. It had a little bit of sexiness. It had, the family drama. It had shock. It had an adventure sequence. It did everything in that movie. It just did everything in that movie. And Psycho, the same thing, was the Steranko pulp, 3 ingredients you need to have for pulp. The mystery, sexiness, and danger. That's my metric when I'm doing a comic book, is I want to have a little sexiness, I want to have a little mystery, and I want to have a little danger. And then whatever the craziness is that I put into my work. I think Evil Dead 1 and 2 both have that. I think Psycho has that. Jaws has that. Just incredible stuff. Hey, what's up, Eric Huffles? How are you doing, man? It's good to see you, brother. Always good to see you on a Sunday, man. I hope you're doing well, and I hope everything's good in your neck of the woods weather-wise. Sound like Willard Scott there for a minute. So let me see here. Okay, let's take a look at these. The Black Cat. Now, what was so cool about going to this exhibition is Kirk Hammett, whose movie poster collection this is, the guitarist from Metallica, he has a life-sized Mike Hill. And if you don't know, Mike Hill did the makeup design for Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, creature design for Shape of Water. He also sculpted an utterly realistic Boris Karloff so they could put on Boris Karloff's actual costume he wore in The Black Cat. So I got to see that bit of film history. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? Well, I'm here. You are here, and we're glad to have you, and happy Sunday. Mark's Music Obsession, channel member, Crypt Walker, Rockstar, and brother, dare I say. Jaws was perfect. Most of the sequel was filmed here in my town of Florida. That's right. And I think there was 1 or 2 parts of Jaws filmed there. It's not as good, obviously, but it's cool that it was filmed here. I agree. I agree. When I went out to Cape Cod, being landlocked in Tennessee when I was growing up, and I know a lot of people in the South take trips to the beach, but I had never taken a trip to the beach outside of Jekyll Island, or is it Jekyll Isle in North Carolina? I think, no, was it South Carolina? Shoot. I know Katie did, or somebody in the chat who's from the South is going to know, but I was in elementary school. So I went to a research beach that was filled with sand spurs, so it wasn't like going to the beach ever. And but the first time I went to the beach for vacation was with Mrs. Angetti when I was in college. So to me, the idea of going to the ocean on a vacation was something I didn't understand. But going to Cape Cod to the beach on the 50th anniversary of Jaws was awesome. And it was almost like I had this kind of like this moment of what's it called? Shoot, I'm trying to find the words here. It's gonna sound crazy, but I had this moment of being where Jaws was filmed, where one of my heroes, Steven Spielberg, did his work, who gave us Close Encounters, for God's sake, Jaws, E.T., all of these incredible movies. I was like, you made it, kid. You made it, funny enough, to where everybody in Jaws was killed, and where Chief Brody swam ashore. One of my favorite characters of all time is Quint. I'm actually, oh, by the way, I don't know if I pointed this out, speaking of Jaws. This, right here, I wear this shirt because this shirt is a shirt that Quint was wearing. It's the type of shirt that Quint wears. So that's why I wear this shirt. And then, I don't know if it's on the other side of this. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Hang on. Oh my gosh. That's a little too close, camera-wise. This is Quint's hat from Jaws. So I actually have Quint's hat. I've got a pin of the Book of the Dead, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and a Jaws patch on the side. Yeah, the beach is overrated. The sand gets places you don't want. Amen, Blackjack. Yeah, it was definitely a new experience I had to get used to when I went there. And then you have the invisible ray. Look at this little tiny corner of this poster. How beautiful is that, man? And then that beautiful hand lettering. There's no dark border around it. It's all done with color and value. You've got that nice little glow around it. I mean, the printing of these things, something else. Really good stuff. And then here you go. For those of you guys who ever wondered where the title of that famous comic book and then television series comes from, The Walking Dead was a movie starring Boris Karloff. So if you've ever wondered where that comes from, that's it. Sharky boys don't mean no harm. I'll tell you what, though, we've been having a lot more great white sharks up in this area. We've been having a lot of great white sharks up here because of the seal population is exploding. And so, yeah, we had I thought everybody knew this, but I could be wrong, but we had a woman who was killed, a mom who went out for a swim with her adult daughter at dusk and was killed by, I think, a great white. Because you're swimming in a black, I think they were in a black wetsuit at, dawn, which they say is, prime shark feeding time. So yeah, I have not met a shark. I've seen sharks, but I like to keep glass between us, or I like to be many feet away. Oh, that's awesome. Oh man, that's so great. I love that stuff. So you've got the Raven with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. Just incredible. I mean, these guys, man, what legends they were. The Ghoul, starring Boris Karloff. A really nice, simple designed poster with the, Egyptian sarcophagus and then the hand reaching out. Just, I mean, great stuff, man. The Beast from the Beast with a Million Eyes, not the Beast from God knows how many fathoms. I know they talked about Blackula before I got on there when we were closing out Shanu on Graham's channel, but it's great stuff. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can read this. Hong Kong Fooey celebrate at Shanta J to celebrate the Ides of March. Has anybody stabbed you in the back, a la Caesar style? Not yet. Well, actually, not very recently, thank God. But I'm sure somebody's always got something in the works. And happy Ides of March, by the way. And again, one of my... Oh, gosh, I don't know why this is putting me off on this. Oh, God, yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah. I mean, I've been in and around Comicsgate since 2018. I think 2019 or 18 is when I posted a fan art piece. This is going to date me real well, of Red Rooster. So I've been around to watch all of this stuff and be around all this stuff happening, and some of it's happened to me, let me tell you, for a very, very long time. And you start to be able to spot people who are going to last and people who aren't, being overly busy in rooms trying to start garbage. I actually was talking to Aaron Lopresti and Graham about that the other day, and just how nuts that stuff is. But they were talking about that. Of course, Mothra. Look at that. I bet Shane loves this poster. Night of the Living Dead. What a great flick that is. Shows that anything can happen. People always tell you, and I know I got a lot of this growing up. I was talking to Graham about Jackson Butch Geis on stream. And when I was growing up in Chattanooga, there was really this kind of sense, to me at least, because Chattanooga in the 80s was not Chattanooga now by any stretch. And even now, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have all that stuff. When I was growing up in Chattanooga, there was this real sense you can't get there from here. And I remember my comic shop owner said, well, you know who's from here? And I had already read his Deathlock book, I think, at that point. So I don't know what year it was. And he said, Butch Geis is from here. And it was really one of those moments where you're like, you can get there from here. And so, yeah, love that stuff. Yeah, ups and downs. Let's see here. Oh, geez, thank you. It's like an intervention of compliments. I appreciate it. You're an incredibly genuine person. I don't usually buy comics, but I'm definitely getting Springball. Oh, thank you so much, Drummer on Fire. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot, Yeah, we definitely have had our crazy ups and downs in this space, and it's nuts. But what I think is the thing that gives me peace, obviously, is family, the relationships I have with people. But the biggest thing is the craft. When I sit down and work, I'm really happy, and I'm so glad to have. Yep, I have Red Rooster too. I have the. I even have, I think, somewhere the it's on its way postcard they mailed out, but I have the hardcover over there somewhere, or actually maybe it's in my long box over there. I'm not sure. Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. What a classic movie! And then look at this great close up of that Frankenstein poster. You know what? It's a pretty solid book. I mean, I love the artwork. I think Mitch did some really nice artwork in there. There's some great colors. It's nicely done. I would certainly say that. But just, oh man, one of those things. I didn't know half of what was going on until Ethan started talking about it lately, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. That's one of those things. So yeah, what are you gonna do? People gonna people. Now, here's the funny thing. This is a movie that's of particular importance to Kirk Hammett because he saw this on television. He said it scared the heck out of him. So he had this playing inside the exhibition. And on top of it playing inside of the exhibition, he had this giant poster, which going back to size, or actually it wasn't that giant, come to think of it. I guess I remembered it as being large. It was, well, still big. It was 30 1/8 inches by 41 1/8 inches. So not insanely large. And then, of course, I got to see this beautiful original right here from Creepy Magazine, one of the few acrylics on board that Frank Frazetta did. This wasn't in oils. So I saw this acrylic, and I've seen some of his gouache pieces, and I always look at Frank's stuff, and I go, what is my excuse again? I don't know. And he had the original. Basil Gogos is a hero of mine. Love Basil Gogos. Plants was an underused idea at the time. You're right, it actually was. Yeah, Pizza Live, man. That's what it's all about. All about Pizza Live, man. I'm definitely working on some movies for that, so don't you worry. We'll do a special Pizza Lives. I would have loved to have done one on Friday the 13th, but then we were closing out Graham's book, so probably not. But I got to see this Basil Gogos original, a Dracula Basil Gogos original. There's a Goya painting, which was a big influence on... this Goya painting in particular was a big influence on Attack on Titan, as well as Goya painting the Colossus. There, of course, is the man, H.P. Lovecraft's sketch of Cthulhu that he sent in a letter to describe what the character looked like. If you can't tell from my desk, We talk about being from the heart of Lovecraft country. Where I live is actually mentioned in one of the more obscure Lovecraft short stories, and I could not be happier in a million years than I am for Cursed Heart Creations' incredibly thoughtful crochet present of Cthulhu. This thing is beautiful, and the photo and all of this just don't do it justice, but is gorgeous. Those eyes have that great element of cosmic horror in it. So again, tip of the cap to Cursed Heart Creations. Just love that thing so much. It's just great. And so let me read. Oh, we got a super chat. Another super chat from, let me see here, from Baldo users saying, the thing about Jaws is that it wasn't extremely fictional. You're right. The ocean is a very underused resource in horror. You're absolutely right. Any ocean horror comics you recommend? Oh my gosh. That's a tough one. I was going to say, there's a decent manga adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth. It's okay. It's not the best. Because I know the area that they're talking about because I live here I went to college at RISD, which was the college that the artist who sculpted that Cthulhu sculpture you see that's in the book. I walked the hill that the professor who is murdered and is the inciting incident of the book Call of Cthulhu. I walked that hill all the time in college, and then my mentor, who was 50, one of my mentors who was 50 years to the day older than me, lived in the building and had his studio in the studio space where the student who went to RISD, a real college, had his studio in Call of Cthulhu. So I have all these connections. And I actually brought the first copy of my book, Nosfero, to Swan Point Cemetery to leave it at Lovecraft's grave. And that video is on this channel. You can see it. So I think those are good adaptations. Gosh, I'm trying to think now. I know there's some European comics that are escaping me right now. Someone's going to come up with it in the chat, but let me just say, indeed, and yes, guys, check out the CYBERFROG plush if you haven't. Cursed Heart Creations has one up right now. And let me play you some cheerleaders, because that's what happens, man. That's what happens when... and let me do something else first real quick. Let me do this. Edit, copy, and I'm going to put this here. I'm going to do edit, edit, paste, and then I'm going to toss the one that was, for some odd reason, playing the end trailer stuff, which I wasn't a big fan of. So here we go. Let's do this.
Charge! Charge!
Okay, I just came up with an answer for you. During that, it just dawned on me. Art Haida says, but first let me get this. Art Haida says, I have an idea for a horror comic. 2, based in the ocean, a very underused idea, similar to exploring space, but with different possibilities. You're absolutely right. Let's see here. Pity Moss says, love Goya's Saturn devouring his son. This painting had always creeped me out as a kid. Absolutely right. Killer Shark in Another World slams together Jaws, Sharknado, and oh my gosh, is it Isekai manga? I don't trust my pronunciation of that. Oh man. Oh, let's see here. There's a few. Oh, yes, there's a few new Cthulhu games coming, or Thulu games. I always pronounce it Cthulhu for reasons of hearing it the first time and getting it stuck in my head. And here's the other crazy thing. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, I've been quiet about driving home. Please focus on the driving. Cursed Art Creations. Don't you worry about me. I'm just sending love out for it. I appreciate it. Also, a nuclear shark movie. So here's an answer for that question. Springball takes place in a city that's a cross between Metropolis and Innsmouth. And the entire story deals with the idea of underwater sea creatures, a la the deep ones, living off the coast of Kingsport, which is the city Springball takes place in. So yes, there is going to be an underwater, not initially, but I don't want to say too much. There's a huge underwater lore, so much so that in the first couple of pages of Springball, you're going to see a sequence where they talk about... a character you may know from your lore as Dagon, and I'm crossing it with Moby Dick and albino whales. that Dagon is devouring to give a sense of scale. So definitely going to be one of those things. What's that video game? BioShock. What's that video game with the diving helmet monster? I don't play video games anymore. BioShock, 100%. And it is crazy. Diving helmet monster. I think that's the one you're talking about. That's Soma Eric, Hail Shanth. Yes, indeed. Ever listened to Call of Cthulhu? Ever listened to the Call of Cthulhu by Metallica? I have not listened to that yet, actually. No, I have not. And hail to Tammy's here. Where's Tammy? There's Tammy, channel member and OG. Tammy is in the house. It's great to see you, Tammy. How are you doing? And happy Sunday to you. A very happy Sunday to you. Yes. Oh, I assume that's the one you're thinking of, unless you mean BioShock. There you go. So is it BioShock? That is the one you were talking about that has the guy with the drill arm, or is this another one? Because it might even be that one that's mentioned. I didn't know about that one. And BioShock is one of the most beautifully designed worlds that I've seen in a video game. And I don't play video games, but because I'm an artist and I'm curious, and that's because I can't play video games and draw and paint at the same time. That's the problem. Yes, BioShock's Big Daddy character. That might be what it is. So yeah, Eric, you're going to look into that and let us know which one of those you were talking about. But I do watch video game playthroughs if they're artistically, beautiful. So I've watched BioShock playthroughs while I work. So someone else is playing the video game for me so that I can, experience the story, experience the world. Oh, I just remember watching a playthrough where the player was walking along the ocean floor. So I don't think that's BioShock. Big problem is it was a watered-down System Shock mechanically. Yes, I've heard a lot of people say that. But yeah, probably is the one that Simply Green said, Soma. I bet you that's the one you're talking about. I bet that's what it is. If you're walking around the ocean floor, that's probably what it was. So let me just get through a couple more of these right here because just want you guys to get a good look at this book because I think it's... Of course, you've got this right here. My movie. Mrs. Zingetti is... I hope I've... I hope you guys have figured it out. That I like that Mrs. Zingetti. Always helping me with things. And she wrote the intro to Nosfero, and I love what she wrote. It's beautiful. I'm very grateful for that. But she knows that Nosferatu is one of my favorite movies. So she found out for the 100th anniversary of Nosferatu in 2022 that they were this really cool local band had created their own score, kind of symphonic, electronic, bass, guitar, but it was very good for Nosferatu, and they did a live play-along to the silent film as it played. It was so cool. One of the coolest things I've ever seen. And what a great way to celebrate this movie's 100th anniversary. I'm a massive fan of Nosferatu. That's why I have Nosferatu. Oh, and God bless NECA, by the way, for making such screen-accurate horror figures. I mean, this is 100% Max Schreck. And some of the best stuff out there, if you want to get something that looks that good, you're talking about hundreds of dollars on a statue, and I can't afford that kind of stuff. So I have a couple of nice statues here, but I have to kind of count my pennies, and so it's not something. It's something that I wanted something desperately, quality of it, and it was so great to be able to have that. Yeah, isn't that great, Timothy? It's great, man. Let me see here. Bruce Campbell's chin. She's a swell gal. You know it's true. Well, Sean, play the Call of Cthulhu right now. So do you mean the because I think I played once when I was a kid the tabletop game, if I'm not mistaken. Nothing comes close to that. I've been on stream with the character of which you speak, and I've saw things I can't unsee. I think that's the best way I'd put it. I saw things I can't unsee. So here we go. Gosh, there's so much like food and chips and things in here. Oh, is this paint? Eesh. Looks like it's acrylic. Got so much junk in this. I can't believe that's even coming off, but it must be is it glue? Shoot. This is what happens when you paint and you do projects with books open. Oh, you run into things like that. gosh, this well, you can tell this book is well loved. And then you get this beautiful giant Frankenstein poster, which I really love. Colin Clive is great. That's hilarious. I had a similar idea. I thought the visuals should be redone to match an 8-bit horror vibe with electronic music. You're absolutely right. What's up, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969? Great to see you, my friend. Yes, indeed. So let me see here. So there's Frankenstein with Colin Clive, May Clark. Karloff had the perfect face for that makeup, and Jack Pierce hit it out of the park with that makeup. Just incredible stuff. Tarantula, I know, Graham. This is Graham's sweet spot. Graham loves this time period in movies. I kind of missed it, so Graham's kind of getting me acquainted with it more and more, which is nice. It's great to have Monster Kid friends, you know. We have a lot of overlap, and then we have some areas where we don't, because I'm a massive Hammer horror fan, and Graham is not that big of a fan of Hammer horror. But give me time. I'm going to work on him. So the book's title is It's Alive, Classic Horror and Sci-Fi Movie Posters from the Kirk Hammett Collection. And it was published by the Peabody Essex Museum, or Peabody Essex Museum, depending on where you're from. And, yeah, just a great book. When Worlds Collide, the Wolfman, my favorite Universal monster, is always going to be the Wolfman. I love werewolves. I love American Werewolf in London is one of the greatest movies of all time. So is The Howling. Love that movie. Rosemary's Baby. That's a great poster design, by the way. And for my money, this is the most beautiful movie poster and horror movie poster ever made. It's not even my favorite, and I love the movie, but it's not even my favorite horror movie from that era. But if you saw this in person, if these colors look really, really luminous and bright, and you think that can't be how the poster looks, the poster is even brighter and more beautiful than this. Sorry, the lithograph print that is the movie poster. So these were lithographic prints, and the colors are just as bright and luminous as they were when this thing was printed. That's how good these are. And I could talk about this poster all day. I love that hand sort of painted lettering that's three-dimensional. It's so good. And let me just get a little closer on this so you guys can see. Oh, you know what? I need to get this at an oblique angle here so it doesn't reflect as much. Look at that. Look at the color. Oh, sorry, guys. Look at the color on that. There you go. You can really see it there. That's so cool. That is just, I can't believe there were many lithographs of this. It looks like it was hand painted when you see it in person. It's off the chain. Of course, Island of Lost Souls, you know, that could happen. If you take a wrong turn somewhere, you get off at the wrong exit, you're going to end up on that island. Alien, of course. I know a lot of you guys know that one. Yeah, Peabody. You know Mr. Monkey Boy. It's how they do. It's how they do. But yeah, just a great book, and just a great genre of work that's, you know, being done there. And I love that kind of stuff. I would love to see movie posters go back to that. When I'm doing, I know you guys saw these last week. This is usually where I keep them. But if you guys saw last week, it's the same thing when I'm doing. It's the same thing when I'm doing layouts for Nosfero, and I'm doing, you know, things like this. Everything I do is built on that idea of you're thinking about the scene, you're thinking about the setting, but I need to paint my layouts, and I need to paint my layouts even digitally for Springball so I can get the sense of what the color is going to be, what the world's going to be, what that sense of design is going to be. And so I need to do what I'm going to try to do every Sunday. We're on episode 13 of Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. I can't believe it. But I want to give you guys, or invite you guys, I should say even more importantly, I want to invite you guys in to my studio space so that you can kind of get a little bit of you know, shock to the system, and really have that part of us all that needs to be taken care of, which is that curiosity. And I think that's it's just something that I can't overstate the importance of, nurturing curiosity, wonder, and that's why we make the books we do. I mean, for me, when I give you guys a book and I make a book, what I want it to be is just curiosity for you, for your, you know, your library that you're building. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed. You can't get Nosfero right now because the campaign's closed, but you're not going to be disappointed with whether it's my first art book, and this one has been in the wars, whether it's my first art book or it's my second art book, which unfortunately those are all going to be sold out now, or Nosfero the Cryptwalker, or of course Springball, which is going to be the same kind of square-bound format, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful book. You're going to enjoy having these things because they're getting mailed from me. They're being created, as I always say, as my logo says, made with liberty in the USA. They're handcrafted in the USA. They're printed in Tennessee, and they're shipped directly from me to you. And I just, the things we can do and the things we can dream if you guys back these books and support them. So I, of course, always humbly ask you guys, if you've not backed Springball yet, the link is in the description. Give it a look. Back one of the covers, back all of the covers, back one of the big, tiers of the book where you're going to get head sketches and things like that. Whatever works for you, but at any level, all of it's appreciated. And I promise it's going to be a really cool book, and you might not want to miss out on the first issue of this character, because there's a lot of people who, for some reason, really feel drawn to the character and are getting excited about the character. So there'll be a lot of cool stuff going on, and yeah, couldn't be happier to have found a home here in Comicsgate with a bunch of artists that I can go to and talk to. Things like, again, Graham, was helping with the printer, and then we were having a great conversation on stream. John, of course, about lettering, and John was one of the first people to get a look at the interior pages of Springball because I wanted his thoughts and his feedback, and he gave me some incredibly great advice. John has been a champion of Springball from the launch stream to the closeout stream. Hopefully you guys who picked up the box tiers on Black Riding Hood, you'll be getting my exclusive Black Riding Hood cover in the box. And of course, Shane was so great at the 30-day mark for the 30-day closeout halfway through the campaign. Mandy has been a huge supporter. All these great people. Dan Lawless has been a big Springball fan and champion of it. Bosch did a great sketch. So appreciate all of you guys. And Ethan, who launched Nosfero Second Chance campaign, and also put Springball in the Kings United cover edition of CYBERFROG 3. So lots of people have been great and supportive when it comes to the stuff that I'm doing, and of course all of you guys. And so to leave one world and to come into this world not knowing anybody, and even though we shockingly seem to have crossed a lot of paths and we've all worked in various art and entertainment industries, has been an incredible blessing. And then meeting you guys and learning how to stream. So I can't thank you guys enough for being here, for being channel members, and for supporting everything. Glass Machine, it is great to see you. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I wanted to show you guys, because I know there is. And I got to think of what it is. What the heck is it? Oh, let me shut the door here. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. Oh, no, you can't from that side. No, you can't do it from that side. We got to push it. There we go. Let me see. Oh, yeah. So one more quick thing. I've shown this before, but if you haven't, speaking of Shane, holy cow. Speaking of Shane and comics, I got to show this. These two things, actually. So, to blow my nose, man. My allergies have been terrible. But speaking of all of this stuff, I was just reaching over to grab a book for you guys, and I found my Inglorious Rex trading cards, my stickers, all of the cool stuff, magnets that come from 9 Lives Comics. So if you don't get this stuff, is this... Let me see here. Yeah, this is a... Look at that. So beautiful. I mean, the stuff that's coming out is so great. And for those of you guys who know my man, Pete Cimetti, Pete actually kept me on stream when I was funding Nosfero, the first edition of the book, if I'm not mistaken. And I was $5 shy of my first goal, my stretch goal, or not my stretch goal, my funding goal, which was $5,000. And he was doing that open mic, couple-minute pitch for those of you guys, if you remember that. And I said, I'm almost funded. I'm 5. Yeah, Pete Cimetti. He's the other Eddie in comics, Cimetti and Jetty. And the King Kong versus 232 Inglorious Rex. I love that book. I love the stuff that Shane does. And just a great artist and a kindred spirit when it comes to giant monsters and all that kind of stuff. I love talking kaiju and Shin Godzilla with that man. It's always a blast. Yep. I love this, man. Yeah. Lots of really cool stuff out there. And so, yeah, so for me, the thing is like having all of this sort of stuff just is always inspiring. But if you missed out on it, Mike Hill, who was really nice, I did a Shape of Water painting, and he reached out to me and said he loved the painting, which was great. Thank you, Mike. You're awesome. He's been winning a lot of awards for his makeup on Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And this right here, this thing is heavy and incredibly dangerous if you were to drop it on yourself. It's a great big book, but this great big book covers all of the incredible artwork and costume design of that movie, and is just great stuff. Really great stuff. And I think I have a link. I hope I have a link to Nine Lives Comics down in the description, but Eric just dropped a link there in the chat. Let me see if I can find... Where is it? And... Is that it? I just flipped past it. Always when I'm trying to... There it is. And speaking of keeping your curiosity open and looking at a lot of different things for inspiration, I think I've pointed this out before, but if you're a fan of manga artist and manga god, the inventor of modern manga, Osamu Tezuka, you will be very aware that there's an element of this design of Frankenstein. I'm not saying it was a direct influence, but it might be. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I'm sure Del Toro would say it if it was. That is very reminiscent of his character Blackjack, with stitches and blue skin. And I remember thinking, that's the kind of stuff where you have a patch of blue skin on your face and you have that sense of play. It's because you're eating a healthy diet of art and creativity. And so always keep that stuff. Yeah, my favorite energy vampire. Oh, man, I want to get that thing for John so bad because thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to have to do that soon. Yeah, can't read that one hand, not at all. That has come down on me a few times. It hit my foot once and I was like, ah! Yeah, Guillermo del Toro is currently selling his art and trinkets collection. There's a lot of cool, affordable stuff to buy. Yeah, he's got tons of stuff. You know, let's see here. What a great name. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Blackjack. You know Blackjack. Are you familiar with that character design? It's actually a really cool character design. Yeah, Blackjack is great. Where at? Yeah, people want to know where those things are being sold. People want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, guys, so I think we hit Blucher. That's right. I love that. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I gotta watch that movie with Mrs. and Jenny. It's hilarious, guys. All right, we're at 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up, guys. I'm on a roll, and doing this every Sunday. We're here every Sunday, usually at 3:30. Occasionally it gets bumped back. When there was a time change, it was bumped back 1 week. But I'm usually here 3:30, 3:45 every Sunday. We're gonna make it. Hold on a minute. Let me see if that's true. There was some in the poster book. And then, hold on, Stephen Rockwood. Dang it, Stephen Rockwood. I'd love to have you, Timotheus. We would absolutely love to have you. It's just gonna, now that won't stick. Or will it? We'll try to make it stick. Nope. Now it's in the wrong place. No. Hold on, Steven. The things you do. The Barbarella kinda, but it doesn't count, Steven. You know that. Look, don't try to make it easy for me. I gotta learn how to help myself. Okay. So here's a painting of Andy Smith's character. Right there that I was working on and I'm working on. There you go. Stephen Rocket. I haven't shown this one in a while. And there, of course, is the skull that she's on. There you have it, guys. I couldn't let Stephen Rockwood down without sharing a painting. Let's see here. Great stuff as always, Sean. Thank you so much, Roxy and Chica. It is good to see you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you very much for being here. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. You did zoom in on the Barbarella. Oh, yes, Hannah Chase. Yeah. I know. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that's a story, isn't it? Pity Ma. Oh, baby. Yeah, there you go. There it is. And we will do, old anime with a doctor. Yeah, I know, Stephen. We took care of it for you. We got to look after Stephen Rockwood. He's the first Cryptwalker, and channel member. So as I always like to say, and speaking of channel members, Mark's Music Obsession, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Rockwood. Where I did show a diaphanous dress. Yeah, that was in the sketch, remember? We had that in the sketch. So I did have you well taken care of, I think. I think I got you there in the end. So if you're a channel member, you are going to see your name in the credits right now. So from the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanthan Jetty. You've been watching Shanthan Jetty Art. Whoo! Let me tell you, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace be with you guys. Give nihilism no quarter, nor accept any. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful time on a Sunday. Always great to see you guys. Much appreciation. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Eric Huffles, thank you so much for being here. Stephen Rockwood, thank you so much for everything. Thank you, Mark's Music Obsession. I cannot wait to get you that painting. And yes, indeed, Tiny Effort, thank you for being the OG Springball fan. And God bless you for that. I appreciate it very much. And I will see all of you guys very, very soon. And next Sunday, we'll have more fun, more adventure, more craziness, more comics and curios inside of the studio. And we will see where things take us. So I will see you guys very, very soon. And let me make sure I just put a few more of these up on the screen, of course. And thank you again to Cursed Heart Creations. What a beautiful and thoughtful gift. Could not be happier with it. And totally surprised. Thank you, Mr. Monkey Boy. Thank you, guys. Totally surprised by it and incredibly grateful. Thank you guys so much. And so here are the channel member credits, and I will see you guys very, very soon. And hopefully it's the right video. If not, I'm going to have to click on something else. So let's see if this works. And actually, did I update this video? I don't know if I updated the credits. So if you're a channel member and you're not on here, I apologize. I will make sure to update them. And yes, guys, do check out Cursed Heart Creations CYBERFROG plush. Grab it. It's crocheted like this. It's a work of art. It has got incredible craftsmanship. Do not miss it. Okay? Do not miss it. All right, guys, take care, and I will see you guys very, very soon.